evening, children. Welcome back to this wonderful session. In this session, we are going to discuss about chemical reactions and equations. This chapter is divided into 4 subtopics, namely, first topic is introduction, second is balancing of a chemical equations, third subtopic is types of chemical reactions and examples, fourth topic is corrosion and rancidity. What happens when milk is left at room temperature during summer? Yes, curdling of milk takes place. What happens when iron tawa or pan is left exposed to humid atmosphere? Answer is rusting of iron takes place. Good children. Next, what happens when food is cooked? Yes, cooking alters chemical composition of various nutrients. It also kills several microorganisms. Let us go back to all these examples where we will find there are some of them are physical change, some of them are chemical in change. Change is nature's law. We experience such changes in our day-to-day life. As humans, we have thinking power and reasoning power. With these two powers, humans started to do experiments on these changes. As scripture says, Sarvam Jagat Vishnumayam, but according to chemistry, Sarvam Jagat Atommayam. These atoms we combine to form elements. These elements combine to form compounds or mixtures which lose their identity for the sake of others. Why they combine? Why? What is the reason for the combine? We are going to discuss all these things, all these changes in this chapter called chemical equations and reactions. Some of the day-to-day life examples, that is germination of seed, hatching of egg, blooming of flower and ripening of fruits. These are some of the changes that we are able to see around the nature. Some of the changes we'll see within us, inside and outside us. There are some of the changes we are able to notice when we grow from young to old age. Let us look at details in physical change. What is physical change? Simple definition. It's a temporary. It's a reversible, where new substances are not formed. Physical change is a change in which substances changes its size, shape or color, but does not changes its chemical composition. What are the characteristics of physical change? Yes, good. It's a temporary change. Elements will not lose their identity. It's a reversible reaction. Here new substances are not formed. Let us look at examples. Examples are melting of ice. We already see. When we melt ice, again we'll regain its structure by freezing it back. Mixing of salt in water, cutting of an apple. Some of the examples of physical change. These also we'll see in our daily life. These are the daily life changes we are able to see in nature. Boiling of water, drying of clothes, melting of ice cream, beating of a metal, glooming of bulb, and cutting of fruits are the examples for physical change. Let us look at details in chemical change, because in this chapter we are going to study about chemical change. What is chemical change? Chemical change is a permanent change. It's an irreversible reaction. New substances are formed. Let us look at definition. The change in which substances loses its identity and produces one or more substances by changing its composition. These are permanent in change. Elements lose their identity. It's an irreversible reaction. All these things we are going to discuss in detail in this chapter. Examples for chemical change. Anybody will give an example for chemical change? It's a daily activities. In Deepavali times we will see burning of a crackers. Once we burn the crackers again, we can't regain the shape or a crackers again, because it's a loss, it's a irreversible reaction. Second, rusting of an iron. You already know how it get rusted because of exposure to moisture, where iron articles gets rusted. This is also one of the chemical change. Examples of chemical change: burning of a coal, burning of candle, rusting of a metal, explosion of firecrackers, decomposition of organic matter, ripening of fruits are some of the examples for chemical change. We can study more about chemical changes in this chapter. First, what is a chemical reaction? It's a chemical change in which new substances with new properties are formed are called as chemical reaction. Chemical reaction is always irreversible in nature. Once a reactant is and products are formed, it cannot be changed to original reactants. So it's a irreversible. Everyday examples of chemical reactions. There are thousands of reactions takes place in our body from young to old age. That is also chemical reactions. Digestion of food, where energy is released, that is a chemical reaction. We respire, here also energy released by the activity of enzymes, that is also a chemical reaction. Burning of a fossil fuels. Fragmentation of a grapes. Fragmentation of a grapes leads to alcohol. That is also one of the chemical reactions. Food is cooked. During the cooking, the lot of microorganisms will die. That is also one of the example for chemical reaction. How do we know whether a chemical reaction has taken place? Yes, children, in this, if chemical reaction is taken place by two changes, that is change in state, that is from solid to liquid, liquid to gas. These are the changes in state. Next, change in color, from colorless to yellow color. Evolution of gas, that is temperature. These are the three criteria we can decide that a chemical reaction has taken place. Change in state. When a magnesium ribbon is burnt in the presence of oxygen, we'll get magnesium oxide. That is from solid state to gaseous state. That is a change in state. Change in color. This is also activity, where aqueous potassium iodide solution is added with lead nitrate solution, we will get yellow precipitate, colorless to yellow, that is change in color. Here in this third diagram, where zinc granules is added with dilute sulfuric acid, where evolution of gas takes place, that is change evolution of gas, that is change in temperature. All these are the changes that we are going to observe in a chemical equation or in a chemical reaction. What is a chemical equation? Most important topic, children. This is the most important and the most basics for to write a balanced chemical equation. This, please be careful and please listen this, very, very, very important. What is a chemical equation? Statement that used to represent a chemical reaction is known as chemical equation, or representing the reactants and products by using symbols and formulae are called as chemical equation. Any reaction that represents a reactants and products by using symbols and formula are known as chemical equation. Just simple example, magnesium burnt in the air will produce dazzling light by the formation of magnesium oxide. This is a chemical equation. This is a chemical equation. In this, these two are known as reactants. This is known as products. While writing a chemical equation, we use some of the basic symbols to represent a equation. Simple, these are some of the few symbols that we will be using. First, G means gas. Liquid means solid. Next, this symbol represents good. Gas is released. This symbol represents formation of precipitate. This symbol represents heat. These are some of the basic symbols to represent a chemical equation. These are the basic symbols we use to represent a chemical equation. Please see this table. This is most important. Next, what is a balancing chemical equation? Children, this is an important concept. Please be attentive and please be watching this carefully, because this is the most basic concept where you have to know balancing a chemical equation. This is the most important concept. Compulsory you will get 1 to 2 marks in your public exam. This is the most important. We have to balance a chemical equation. An equation which the number of atoms or mass of a reactant should be equal to total number of atoms and the mass of the products. Means number of reactants should be equal to number of products. Let us look at simple example. Hydrogen reacts with chlorine to form hydrogen chloride. Step 1, let us write in word equation. Hydrogen plus chlorine gives rise hydrogen chloride. In step 2, by using formula, we'll write the equation. Hydrogen means H2 plus chlorine atoms means Cl2 hydrogen chloride and means HCl. These two are known as reactants. Good. This is known as products. Most important. Reactants means in a chemical equations, two or more substances react are known as reactants, where in a chemical equations products formed are known as products. Please be attentive because this is the most important concept. Once again I am telling, in a first step we have to write in a word form. Second step, by using symbols and formulas we have to represent a equation. Third step, most important step. This step is the most important, where most of the children will make mistakes by simply multiplying. These are some of the errors where children will do. But children, please be attentive. Third step is, according to law of conservation of mass, total mass of reactants should be equal to total mass of products. Therefore, here I'll write the equation. This is the second step equation. Hydrogen molecules plus chlorine molecules create hydrogen chloride. Here reactants, hydrogen atoms has 2 molecules, chlorine atom has 2 molecules. In the product size it has 1 molecule, HCl, H is 1 molecule, chlorine is 1 molecule, total 2 molecules. Here in reactants we have 4 molecules, in products we have 2 molecules. In order to equalize right hand side to left hand side, right hand side has to be multiplied by 2. Means to balance right hand and left hand, right hand has to be multiplied with 2. Then the overall equation is H2 plus Cl2 gives rise to HCl. This is known as LHS, left hand side. This is RHS, right hand side. Please be attentive. Once again I will teach you. Please be attentive. This is the fourth step. In order to equalize right hand to left hand to right hand, LHS has to be multiplied by 2. Then the balanced equation is H2 plus Cl2 gives us 2HCl. This is a balancing a chemical equation. Please, I will teach once again. Please be attentive. First we have to write the equation in a word form. Second step, we have to write the equation in a symbols by using formulas. Simply, first step, hydrogen plus chloride, that is in a word equation. Second step, by using symbols and formulas we have to represent a equation. Hydrogen plus chloride, chlorine gives us hydrogen chloride. Third step, first this is left hand side, right hand side. These are known as reactants. This is known as products. In left hand side, hydrogen has 2 atoms, chlorine has 2 atoms. In right hand side, hydrogen is formed with 1 atom, chlorine is formed with 1 atom. In order to equalize LHS, RHS has to multiply with 2. Then the overall equation is H2 plus Cl2 gives rise to HCl. This is a overall balancing a chemical equation. Let us look at one more example. Mg plus HCl gives rise MgCl2 . This is what is These are reactants. This is products. First step, already we have written in a, by using symbols and formula we have written a chemical equation. Let us balance chemical equation. Let's write at reactants. Magnesium, 1 atom. Hydrogen is 1 atom. Chlorine is 1 atom here. Right hand side, it is products. Magnesium formed is 1 atom. Chlorine is formed with 2 atoms. Hydrogen is formed with 2 atoms. See here. This is the equation is balanced? No, because here chlorine atoms are 2, here chlorine atoms are 1. Here hydrogen atoms formed are 2, here hydrogen atoms are 1. So in order to balance, we have to multiply HCl by 2. Then the overall equation is Mg plus 2HCl gives rise MgCl2 plus hydrogen gas. Here how many total products are? 5. Here it's a 5. This is a balancing chemical equation. Children, you will have some homework, that is you have to balance these equations. 3 equations you have to balance. From these above equations you have to identify which are reactants, which are products, which are precipitates and gases. Next, write the 4 differences between physical and chemical change. You will already know physical is a temperature, this you will all know. And classify the following into physical and chemical changes. In this class, we have studied about chemical, physical changes, and we have learnt a most important topic, that is a balancing of a chemical reaction. I hope you all understood well and hope you all enjoyed this class very well. I conclude this class. Thank you. Sai Ram.